Hi, I'm Dr. Megan Cole, and I want to welcome you to Biology 141 Lab, and for some of you to a whole year of Biology 141 and 142 research. I want to stress that our labs are standalone classes, so unlike some previous lab classes you may have taken, we don't just follow the topics that you're learning about in lecture. Instead, we really have our own learning objectives which focus on teaching you the process of science and try to bring you into the scientific community as scientists in your own right. We hope that this is not only useful to students who continue in STEM disciplines, but really to anyone. It's about being an informed citizen so that when you later on read a scientific news article, you have some understanding of how the scientists might have carried out those experiments that led them to these conclusions. Our labs in 141 really focus on experimental design. So you'll learn about how to design a properly controlled experiment, how to carry out an experiment, analyze the results, and present those findings. In 142, we try to bring you more into the scientific community by working on actual research projects that are ongoing at labs at Emory, which means that you'll also get to work with large data sets, which can be messy and I think quite fun to work with. Our labs only get to meet once a week, unfortunately, which means that really we rely on you doing some work outside of the labs as well. And for those 3 hours of labs, you're going to get out of them the effort that you bring into them. So it's really important that you use our online Canvas site each week before lab to complete all the pre-lab work that we ask of you. Sometimes this will be watching videos on techniques, other times reading documents about learning objectives, completing assignments, etc. Note that this work is due the night before your lab period. We have this due date so that when you're turning things in, instructors can see what the students in this section did, and so that they can immediately address any common misconceptions or mistakes that they're finding in the assignments. So please do mind those due dates. We are strict about them. We also want you to be prepared so that you can be a good lab partner. You will generally work in a group of 4 students, which makes labs, I think, really fun. Make sure that you enjoy those students, get to know them, get to know the other students in your lab. You are going to be in a room with these people for 3 hours each week, so if you can have fun, that will make those 3 hours be more enjoyable. Also, beyond your lab partners, make sure that you get to know your lab TA. They're a more experienced undergraduate student who can not only help you with lab materials, but can also possibly give advice on life at Emory, picking courses, career paths, etc. In addition to your undergraduate TA, you will have a lab research mentor or instructor, typically a graduate student or postdoc or a researcher at Emory, sometimes beyond Emory. And they're a great way for you to get to know a real scientist. Ask them what their research is about, what their life is like, why they chose this career in science. They can be another great resource beyond just the classroom. I'd also encourage you to come meet me anytime. I do have lots and lots of students, so I will respond to emails, but I'm not always the fastest at responding to emails. I promise I do read them all and get back to them all eventually. If it's a really urgent, time-sensitive matter, don't be afraid to email me again if I'm not responding quickly. It's always also a good idea to email your lab and your lab research mentor along with me, because they will typically be much faster to respond. But please, I do welcome you to come into my office hours, come sit on my couch, have a piece of candy, because I am addicted to sugar and I always have a candy bowl. Just say hi, introduce yourself. If you need an appointment, feel free to email me for an appointment. And I hope you have a great semester of Bio 141. Don't be afraid to reach out to me or your lab research mentor once you're assigned them if you have any issues.